In today's project we're going to do 1, 2, 3. It's the 1, 2, 3 blanket today, and this is a chevron pattern, and you'll see that it's actually going to be quite easy to master. Let's begin that right after this. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Absolutely. It's a 1, 2, 3 blanket, and this is using a chevron pattern. It comes with a stitching diagram. In today's pattern I'm going to show you a few things that are involved in this particular pattern. I'm going to show you how to do the waves. Also going to show you how to change colors. You'll notice that there's massive stripes, so that there's a lot of yarn here. It says 20 rows for every different color that you see, A, B, and C for the colors. And so it's just a matter of doing that. You can change the colors as often as you wish, and what we're going to be needing today is we're needing Bernat blanket yarn today. So this is a Bernat Brights. This is the variegated version of this. There's also a Bernat blanket for baby as well as just regular Bernat baby for home decor. And so for this, if you want to do exactly what you're seeing here, for this generous size of Afghan at 46 inches by 46, you're going to need 2 balls of one color, 2 balls of another, and 2 balls of the final color. And so it reminds me of kind of like primary colors, kind of a toy box idea. And let's review this crochet chart because I'm going to show you how to change the sizes of this particular project too. So within today's pattern you can either chain 100 that it's asking you to do, and you can match exactly what you see in the pattern, or you can do what is in the multiples. So you'll notice that every one of the chevrons is made up of a multiple number in order to do it. So you got 1 chevron here, 2, and 3. If you would like to change the size, the magic number for the starting chain is 14. So if you chain 14, okay, and then again 14, and then again 14, you can do as many as you wish. Just know that when you change the size of the pattern, it will change the yarn quantity as well. At the very end of your chain you're going to add 3. So it's multiples of chaining of 14, and then keep going 14, 14, 14, and when you're satisfied with it you're going to add 3 at the very end in order to keep it in balance. So today it's asking for a 9mm size M crochet hook today. I do not have that in stock. I'm using an 8mm size L. That means that my Afghan will be slightly smaller, but if you cannot find a 9mm then you can go for an 8 if you wish, or upgrade it to a 10. That's completely up to you. So I also have a 10, but just know if you go even higher you will use more yarn as well, and you can make that choice up, and that's up to you. So let's begin. I'm going to start off with a slip knot. Okay, this is considered an easy level pattern, not a beginner's. If you are a beginner, just take your time. So remember what I said, you can either chain 100 and get exactly what's in the pattern, or you can be customizing it to whatever size that you wish. Just know that when you go in a chevron is that the chain would be a different length once it goes to a chevron. So you notice how the string is like this in a chevron format. It's going down and then back up, but if you put it out to a chain, look at the difference. Okay, so just remember that your starting chain matters. So when you're going to hold it out and say, oh, it's enough, just don't forget you're going to have to do your dips so to get a real accurate length. So without further ado, let's chain 14. I'm going to do multiples of 14. You can do 100 if you wish. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So there is 1 chevron there. So you're thinking, wow, that's big. Don't forget it has to bend. So it's not as wide as you think it is. So let's do another one of 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So there is my second group of 14. I'm not caring about how many groups I have. I'm more caring about the length of the chain in this particular instance, and when I'm satisfied with it, which I'm about to be now, is that I'm gonna add 3 at the end. So get to the length that you want and then add 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and then you'll have the proper balance in order to do this pattern. So either chain 100 or chain in multiples of 14 and then add 3 chains at the very end once you're satisfied. When you're looking at the crochet diagram you're going to notice that there is an increase every time you hit to the top of the chevron. So we're adding all these extra stitches, and the reason why we're adding stitches there because on the bottom, see how these 3 stitches become 1? So you, in order to get the up and down motion, you have to add extra to the top and subtract at the bottom. So the bottoms, the last final 3 here become 1, and the final 3 here become 1, but at the top the final one becomes an extra 3, and this one becomes an extra 3. So as you're eliminating on the bottom you're increasing on the top. So on the sides here we're actually on the top and we're gonna go down. and then up and down, and we're gonna finish in the up motion. So it's easier to do a pattern like this where both of the sides are equal to each other versus ending the pattern right without that final. It would be a lot harder to remember the steps. So when both sides are equal, just like you see here, it's a lot easier to remember. So let's start now. We're gonna go 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we're gonna turn it over and get the back hump only, and we're gonna double crochet. So 4th chain from the hook, double crochet, and we're gonna double crochet one more time in that same stitch. So because of that chaining of that we just skipped plus these two, that is the top of your chevron, and now we're gonna work in the down motion. The nice thing about this pattern is that whenever you're not in a top or at a bottom, there's always gonna be 3 double crochets that stand by itself. So the next 3 are gonna be 1 double crochet each. So 1, and go into the next one for 2, and the next one for 3. Okay, so you had your top, these 3 are together, here is your standalone right that's going down. So the next 3 are now going to come together as one. So how we do that, it's called 3 together, and what we're going to double crochet 3 together. So we're gonna wrap the hook going into the next stitch and pulling it through, and pull through 2 and hold that on the hook, do not finish it. So we're gonna wrap the hook and going to the next chain do the same thing, in, pull through 2 and hold. And we're gonna do it one more time. We need to put 3 stitches together. This is the starting loop here, so that's not a stitch, these 2 are. So we want a total of 4 loops on the hook before you put everything together. So I'm just gonna come into the final next stitch, pull through 2 and hold. So now you have your 4 loops on there, yarn over and pull through all 4. So there is the top here, and it's going down. Physically you cannot see it yet, but it will be very evident in just a few moments. So now you are ready to come up the other side. So the first 3 are going to be together. So wrap the hook, going in, pull through 2 and hold. Going into the next stitch, pull through 2 and hold. Next one, okay, pull through 2 and hold. So you got 4 loops back on your hook, wrap and pull through all 4. So there's the other side of the bottom of the chevron. So the next 3 are going to be by themselves. So just double crochet the next 3 by themselves. The wonderful thing about this pattern is that every one of the rows are the same once you get beyond row number 2. So it's really quite an easy pattern to remember. So then these 3 are by themselves, and then we're at the top of the next chevron. And it looks like in my filming studio I got extra yarn that is coming from my my work, and let me just get that out of the way. So now you can physically see you're at the top and it's coming down, and now we're at the top on the other side. So in the next stitch 3 double crochets are gonna be into the next stitch. So 1, so going into the same one for 2, and going into the same one again for 3. So as we eliminated 3 chains out in order to complete the bottom of the chevron, we added 3 double crochets into the same stitch. So let's go down the other side. So it's gonna start off with 3 double crochets in the first one. Okay, so that's the other side of the top of the chevron. So if you look at the top of the chevron, there's 3 double crochets one side of it and 3 double crochets on the other before it goes in the down motion. The next 3 are going to be 1 double crochet each. So this is kind of like the way in between the top and the bottom. Okay, you really start seeing the waves now, and now we're at the bottom again. So the next 3 are going to be 3 together. So I'm gonna speed up a little bit. So coming in, pull through 2 and hold, and you do that till you get 4 loops on your hook. So you keep going for more chains, and there's a total of 3 of them that you need, which gives you 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. Now we're gonna come up the other side. The next 3 are gonna be together. 1, 2 and 3. So now you got 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4, And now this is the final coming up to the end. So you're gonna keep going up and down all the way across. And now I'm gonna come up the other side, so there's gonna be 3 double crochets by themselves. So 1, and if your math is right, you will have the right amount of stitches left. So this is the third one standing by itself. I have 1 stitch left, and on the very final stitch you're gonna put 3 double crochets into the same one. So now it's in balance. So you've now gone up and down just like you see in the photo, in the picture there. So let's turn our work and go for row number 2, which is identical, but now that we're not working with a chain, it's a lot easier. So I'm going to turn our work, and I'm going to go across once more with the blue, and then I'm going to show you how to change color, and then you're basically on your own. So we're going to chain up 3 to begin. So 1, 2, 3, that counts as the double crochet, and into the same stitch from where that's coming out of, you're going to add 2 more double crochets. So we're going to keep that momentum going where the tops are adding extra stitches and the bottoms we're eliminating. So the next 3 in a row will be 1 double crochet each. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we're gonna eliminate stitches. So the next 3 in a row that you can see here, and you will see that you have 1 here that looks like all 3 are together, which they are, and you'll have 2 here. So those become 1. So just gonna keep going with 3 together, and the final one is the first one of the group of 3 on this side. You got 4 loops on your hook, pull through all 4, and now go up the other side, but the first 3 have to be together. So this is the other side. You see how they're grouped? So that's the first one, and you keep going until you get 4 loops on your hook. So you just keep gathering and then pull through all 4 loops. So we're gonna come up the other side now, so it's gonna be 3 double crochets by themselves. So 1, 2, and 3. And here's the neat thing about it. In the row below we had 3 that went into the same one. The end one, this one here is the one that's gonna get an additional 3 this time around. So if you can look for those signs, you can actually save yourself some counting. So that was coming up on the one side, and now we're gonna go down. So you see that there's a group of 3. The first one is gonna have 3 in this one before we go down. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we start moving down. So 3 in a row of double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we're at the bottom again. So you can see that there's a group of 3 here, which is the final one here, and then there's 2 right before it. So those 3 become 1 with 3 together. Okay, pull through all 4 loops and go up the other side, pulling the first 3 together. So here's the 1. So look for the signs. So you're gonna keep doing that all the way across, and I'm coming up to the other side now already. So I'm just gonna pull through all 4. The next 3 are 3 by themselves. So 1, and this should leave me with 1 extra stitch left over for the final, which it does. So the very final one here is the turning chain, and that's the very final one, and I want to go into a turning chain. Don't go into a space, go into a turning chain for 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. So you're gonna do a total of, for this particular pattern if you want it, 20 rows of doing all the same color, but you can change the colors as often as you wish. Let me show you how I would change color. So for me, I would take my scissors and cut about 8 inches of the string and just yarn over and pull that string through and finish it off completely. So let's turn our work, and I want to grab another color. In this case I'm gonna grab Sunshine Yellow. What's this pattern actually called? School Bus Yellow it's called. It reminds me of the sky and the sun, and I'm gonna create a slip knot to put it on my hook. So what we just did in the last row is the repeat for the entire whole project. So what we just did here is gonna continue to happen and happen and happen. All it is a different color. So you're gonna insert it into the very top of the first stitch, and keeping the straggler down and keeping the new straggler with it, you want to work those into the stitches and bury it. So just yarn over and pull through. That's like a slip stitch. Pull everything nice and tight. And I want to chain up 3. So 1, 2, 3 counts as a double crochet, and I want to double crochet 2 more times into the same stitch. So you have a total of 3 just like you're supposed to at the end. So the next 3 are going to be 3 single crochets, noticing that I'm putting these down on top so that they get stuck underneath the stitches. So stick it in, keep those down on top of the line, and double crochet right over top of them. Therefore you don't got to worry about any tails, and if you want to you can just use a darning needle at the end if you have to. So 3 double crochets are now by themselves, and now we're going to continue along the bottom. So we got to come up, back up the other side. So I think I'm in enough. I'm going to put these out to the side, and the next 3 are going to be together. Okay, so you can see that there's the group of 3 here and 2's by itself. So we're just going to put those together like I showed you already. Okay, and the final one here. So there should be 4 loops on the hook, which there is now. Pull through, and now I'm going to come up the other side. So the first 3 are going to be together. So just keep gathering them. So you're eliminating stitches in the bottom like I promised, and then adding more stitches to the tops. So now those are together. So now we're going to move up. The next 3 are going to be double crochets by themselves. So 1, 2, and 3. And now the next one here, if you look at it, it's the group of 3. See, it's the first one there. That's the one right in the middle. You're going to add 3 double crochets there. 1, that's the very top. So you're adding extra stitches here. And now we're going to come down the other side. So the first one is going to be 3 double crochets first before we go down. And then we start moving down. So the next 3 are going to be 1 double crochet each. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and the next 3 are by themselves. Sorry, the next 3 are going to be together because we're at the bottom. So we're just going to put those together. Okay, got your 4 loops on the hook, pull it through. Now you're going to come up the other side. The first 3 are together. And that's all you're going to do on this pattern. It's just what I've already kind of shown you. I'm just using a different color. Put them together. So you're going to go back and forth, up and down like so, and then the very end one, just like you're seeing here, the next 3 are 1 double crochet by itself. So 1, 2, and 3, and you have 1 more stitch left, which is the turning chain. So don't go into a gap space, go right into the chain itself and place 3 double crochets. So you can change color as often as you wish. If you wanted just a single color of the yellow and then switching to something else, you can. So you don't always have to change color on the same side of the project. But this is how you would do this. This is the 1, 2, 3 blanket. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, and once you master it, kind of stretch everything out, it actually looks amazing, and it's a really cool project at the same time. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. Have a great day, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.